My name is Michael Johnson. My home parish is St. Bernard's in Madison. My seminary that I attend is St. Francis de Sales Seminary in Milwaukee. That's where we live. We take classes at Sacred Heart Seminarian School of Theology in Hales Corners. Growing up, my faith was very important. My mom was very active in the church, and my dad as well. So it was really a big part of my life growing up, but the idea of a priest wasn't really in there. Got really interested in history in school, and so I went on to college, studied history. You know, everybody always asks, what do you do with history? And teaching is always a good thing. So went on to a grad school, master's, PhD in history. Then I went on to teach at universities. It was really towards the end of my my PhD schoolwork that is when I started to hear the call. It really started, I was at daily mass with my parents, and somebody I didn't even know came up to me and asked, "Had you ever thought about being a priest?" Honestly, I hadn't. But after that, it kind of, I always say it became that voice in the back of my head. It was a question that wouldn't go away. So I started to really think about it. I started talking to different priests that I knew. Decided to take a year to really discern the priesthood while I was doing what I wanted to do, which was teaching. So I was teaching at Grand Valley State University at the time in Grand Rapids, Michigan. While I was conducting research for my dissertation, I was in Florence in Italy, and I just sat down for a little bit just to kind of take everything in. And it was this great kind of peace and calm that came over me. At the time, I just kind of took it as just a kind of a moment of clarity of the church. But I look back at it now, and I think that that was the first time when I was really being pulled to a greater involvement in the church. So it took a little bit for me to get to the point where I paid attention to that, but I think that was really the first call. Now, at the time, I'd moved around a lot through my years, so I didn't really feel like I had a home diocese. I had a couple friends who told me, you really need to look at Madison. So I did. I visited the diocese and just immediately fell in love with it. It just felt like home. So my parents were very supportive from the beginning. My mom had been praying that I would be a priest since I was born. So for her, it was kind of like 30 years in the waiting. And when I finally told her that I was going to apply, the answer was kind of like, finally. The thing that really excites me about the priesthood is really the liturgical side. Just the idea of being able to celebrate Mass is exciting, and it's something that really kind of keeps me going. You know, just like anything, seminary can be difficult, and sometimes you need something to hold on to say, hey, you know, this is what you're shooting for. And I mean, there are other things as well, but that's probably the thing that most really keeps me excited and keeps me going in seminary.